Hey guys, welcome back to another Bookmas video. Today we're going to be rereading some of my 5-star reads. I've been looking forward to filming this video for so long. I had this idea a while ago and I thought it would be like a great Bookmas video to reread some of my 5-star favorites. So I already knew the first one that I wanted to reread was The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I read this in January for the first time this year. I loved it so much. I still think about this book, and it recently came out in paperback, so I wanted to reread it and annotate it, and I'm so excited to read this one. I know it's gonna hurt me, but I just loved it so much. I also actually listened to the audiobook of it back in February. I had to do another reread. So this will be my third time reading it this year. The next one that I want to reread is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. This one I actually started rereading a little bit earlier this year because I also wanted to annotate this one because I didn't annotate it the first time I read it, and I still also think about this book constantly. These characters, this town, it's so good. And eventually I want to reread the whole series, but I feel like I have to slowly go through these books just because of they're just so heavy. So I do want to read this one, and I read this one, I think I read this one last year. Then the last one that I want to reread is The 7-Year Slip. It's been 2 years since I read this one, and I feel like I need to go back into this and read it. I annotated it fully the first time I read it, and I kind of just want to see what my annotations were and maybe add more things that I didn't see the first time. I don't know. I need to be with Ewan and Lemon again. I need to see him say Lemon. I love this book so much. I don't know what I want to read first. I think I already know that I'm going to read this one last, because if I read this one first, I fear it's going to put me in a slump and I'm not going to want to read the other ones. So it's going to be between these two. I honestly don't know which one. I feel like maybe I want to start with The 7-Year Slip because it's just a bit more light than the other ones, and I feel like it'd just be a good start to rereading my favorites. So The Favorites. So those are the books that we're going to be reading in this video. I'm so excited to get to these. I actually am finishing up another book right now. I have less than 100 pages, so I'm going to finish that one, and then we're going to get into our first reread. And I'm so excited. So I'll see you when I start our first read. Okay, it's a little while later and I've gotten pretty far into the book. I've read 88 pages. I'm on chapter 10. I've actually added a few more tabs, and I'm kind of trying to I used just one color last time. I'm trying to use certain colors for certain things. I don't really get that deep into my annotating, but I wanted to use yellow for all the times that we mention lemon. If you know, you know. And then I used purple originally, and I feel like purple is just gonna be quotes that I like. And then I have 2 orange ones, and they kind of just pertain to Ewan, him, what he looks like physically, or just his traits, or even the quotes that he says that I like. Because how did I forget that he is a redhead? He has auburn hair. How did I forget this? Not that that's not bad. I'm just saying, what I forget. And he has tattoos of cilantro and other herbs. Also, every time I think about this book, the magical realism in it, it confuses me so much. Even though I love this book, I'm just wait, how does this work again? Rereading some things, I'm wait, I'm serious. I really need to know, I really need to figure out how this works. But I'm enjoying it so far. I mean, Ewan's making me and Clementine blush. I love it. I love it so much. It's been 2 years, like I said earlier, since I've read this one, and it's just, I can't believe I haven't reread it. I don't have a habit of rereading a lot of my favorites, just because I get into this mindset that I'm wasting my time rereading books that I've already read when I could spend that time reading new books that I haven't read. So I find it hard to make myself reread my favorites, but if I love a book like The Favorites, I had to read that one like twice, like back to back, then I'll reread it. And I'm so glad that I'm doing this video to reread some of my favorites, just because I just love her writing in this. Just like everything about this book. I know I'm only 80 pages in, but just her writing is just so magical, and I love it. Like it's just making me giddy, like thinking about it and like talking about it. So I just want to give a quick update before I keep reading, and it's kind of getting late, so I might be going to bed soon, but I wanted to update you guys on how far we've gotten into our reread. I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm not surprised. It's a 5-star for a reason. I'm just so happy to be back into this world. I love it so much. Finished 7 Year Slip. I love this book so much. It hurts. I don't want to give too many spoilers about it, but if you don't know what this book is about, or if you haven't read it, first of all, what are you doing? You need to read it. Second, it is about the female main character, Clementine, and she inherits her late aunt's apartment that is magical. Her aunt told her this is a magical apartment that transports you 7 years into the past. And Clementine, you know, as a child was like, oh yeah, that's so cool. Until one day she goes into her newly inherited apartment and there's a random man there. It kind of has that right person, wrong time trope and magical realism, and just the quotes in here. Like, I went in and re-annotated my favorite parts. Like, I already had it annotated, and I just went in and like added, like kind of color coordinated it. So the purple tabs are just like quotes that I like, or things that weren't really specific to the other two tabs. And I used yellow for anything relating to Clementine or her nickname. I just used the yellow tab when it correlates to their relationship specifically and her nickname, and that's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to say anymore. And then orange is for Ewan and the quotes that I liked from him. I used orange because there's orange on the cover, but also he's a redhead, and I somehow like failed to remember that, and I love it. So that's what I used. I used orange for his quotes, and I love the way an annotated book looks. This is a 6-star read for me. I could read this over and over again. It is so good. That means we can move on to our next book that we're going to be rereading, and like I said, I'm gonna save the favorites for last because I just know that this one's going to hurt me. I mean, this one hurt me, but this one hurts me in a completely different way. I had to go get it. It was on my nightstand. But the next book that we're going to be rereading in this video is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I've already gotten 10 chapters into this book, and I'm just so excited. This one I feel like might take me a little bit longer than this one, and even the favorites, just because this one, the topic in this one and the plot is just a little bit more heavy, and I feel like you just have to I kind of read this one more slowly to fully digest it, but still amazing. So this is what we're going to be rereading next. I don't know if I have any specific way I want to annotate it yet, or if I'm just doing I think I'm just going to do just random colors, because I just like the way it looks when the colors are just spread out and they don't really mean anything. But we'll just see how I feel when I continue reading it. I think I might make a specific tab for maybe things were correlating to Benji, who is my favorite character in this series. Maybe Maya. And then I also kind of want to use Beartown. It's kind of its own character in this. The town itself is a character, and I kind of want to use maybe a tab for that and for quotes that I just really love, because Frederick Bachman just has a very unique way of describing things, and I love the way he describes things. This will be our next reread. I'm so excited. I'll be back. But I'll see you guys when I have made some more progress. switch up the background. We finally put up our Christmas tree, and it's just so pretty, so I wanted to switch up the background to give my next update, and I have finished Beartown. This took me a little bit longer to get through than the 7-Year Slip, just because this book, like if you've read this book, then you know that it's a bit more heavy topic-wise, like content-wise, and I just really wanted to, like, because I was like annotating it as I was going through, I really just wanted to just like slowly read it and like digest it. That's all I'll say. I knew it was gonna hurt me, and I did this to myself, but I loved it. Still a 5-star for me. It's just so good. After I finished this last night, I kind of wanted to just go into the next book, Us Against You, but I was like, I don't know if I could do that to myself right now, just because if you know like what happens in the rest of the series, it's so, like, some parts are just so awful, and you hate certain characters, but then there's other characters that you love and are just so like you want to protect them at all costs, and then like there's some scenes that are just like awful, but then there are heartwarming scenes also. So it's just, this book is just an emotional roller coaster, and I don't know how Frederick Bachman does it. Just like, even especially towards the end, like the way he writes is so unique, and how he foreshadows in his books is insane. Like, he can foreshadow within like a few chapters, and it's not just like something that happened like way at the beginning that you might not remember until you reread it. Like, he's consistently, I feel like, foreshadowing things, and it's like once you get to that point, you're like, oh my gosh, he told us this was gonna happen a few chapters back. Or, I mean, it's just so good. And like the last chapter, the way it switches back and forth, each paragraph in like the last couple of chapters switches back and forth between like the present and then where these characters will be in the future. It's just so good. It's literally a masterpiece. I love this book so much. I am definitely going to keep rereading, probably slowly reread this series, because I do just really want to. I miss these characters. I miss them so much, and I do want to annotate the second and third book as well. So yes, I finished Beartown. I've been thinking about it all day. It's just one of my favorite books. Now we can move on to our third and final reread for this video, and that is The Favorites by Lane Fargo. Well, I don't want to say I saved my favorite for last, but I kind of did. I just knew that this one would like put me in the biggest slump, or like I just knew I couldn't start with this one, because I think this is my favorite book of the entire year still, and I read this in January. So I feel like that says a lot, but I am going to annotate this one just with like some of my favorite quotes, if I feel like I want to. Like, sometimes I think that I want to annotate a book and I pull out my tabs and I'm reading it, I'm just like, nothing's really calling out to me. But then there's other times where I'm like, this book must be annotated. That's how I feel about the Beartown trilogy. But I do think this will be my third time reading this, and I think the third time will be a good time to actually annotate it. So I'm kind of scared. I know this book is gonna hurt me also. This one's also an emotional roller coaster. It's very messy. Oh wait, I don't know if I described what Beartown is about, but it essentially follows a small town in Sweden called Beartown, where like the whole town revolved around hockey. Like, that is what centers them, that's what brings them together. But then there's also like the way they've kind of made hockey their entire life, and it's kind of, I don't want to say ruined the way they look at other things, but like hockey is such a pivotal role in this town that when something traumatic happens involving someone on the team and in the town, it just like turns this whole town into chaos, and like it's just crazy. I can't say too much just because the main point is that this traumatic event, but I feel like a lot of it too is like you're following these characters that you get to know really well, and you're watching them like grow throughout the book and the entire series. And like I said again about the foreshadowing from Frederick Bachman, it's just amazing in the way he just makes you feel like you know these people, and that, I don't know, it's just insane. Anyway, that's what this is about. And then the favorites, if you didn't know, follows Katarina Shaw, who all she's ever wanted was to be an Olympic figure skater. She wants to win gold at the Olympics. That's what she wants. She's very determined. She's very, I don't know if cutthroat is the right word, but she knows what she wants and she will do nothing to stop at it. And she meets Heath when she is younger and they form a friendship, and she teaches him to ice skate and they become partners. And they do all these competitions together. She's taught him to be her partner to get her to the Olympics. And they have they've kind of trauma bonded with each other, and they formed like such a deep bond as children, and then growing up, and then they eventually, that turned into like a little bit of a relationship. And just the drama that goes on. Kat doesn't care who she hurts to get what she wants. She'll literally do anything. She will do anything to get to the Olympics and for skating, and Heath will do anything for Kat. And it's just the way the things that they do to each other to hurt one another, but they also just like can't not be with each other. It's so toxic and messy, and it takes place in like the public eye and like the figure skating world. It's told in interview style with other Olympic skaters that knew Kat and Heath, and like them. It's basically like they're doing like a 10-year anniversary documentary, and all these other Olympic figure skaters are, just talking about Kat and Heath and their story and how they knew them when they were working together. And I just love it. I love messy. I love drama. I don't know why, but it's so good. I remember the first time I read this, I stayed up late, like all night, to finish this book. And I was reading it, and I was like, my stomach like actually hurts. Like I physically feel sick just because it was so good. Which I know is like a crazy thing to say, but that's how I felt about it. It makes me, I have no words, honestly. So I'm kind of scared to go back into it. But apparently I like hurting myself. And if you want to know anything about Kat, like this little, kind of like, it's like a prologue, basically. And so they're releasing this documentary about the 10-year anniversary of the worst day of Kat's life. And obviously it was all over social media and the news. And she's like, I don't care what you think of me, all the names that you call me, I do not care. She's like, my story is mine, and I'll tell it the way I skated, in my own way, on my own terms. We'll see who wins in the end. And I feel like that should tell you everything you need to know about Kat. Like, she is just so, I don't know what the word is. She reminds me of Carrie Soto from Carrie Soto's Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Like, she's just so, like, unapologetically herself, and is a very strong female character. And cutthroat is the only word that keeps coming to my mind. Like, she is just so in tune with what she wants, and she does not stop until she gets what she wants. So there are a lot of quotes in here that I'm excited to read again and to annotate. So we're gonna dive back into the skating world with Kat and Heath. I'm excited, kind of, and scared, but it's gonna be good. So I'll be back when I've made some progress. And I still love it. I have mixed feelings about the ending. I had mixed feelings the first time, but it wasn't, because it's not the most like perfect ending. Like, it's not a typical like happy ending or what you would necessarily want. Needless to say, I still love this. Still a 5-star. All the books that I read in this video are all 5 stars. They are just some of my all-time favorite books. Obviously, because I gave them 5 stars. I had so much fun rereading some of my favorite books with you guys. I kind of want to continue rereading my favorites. Sometimes I just get so lost in all the new releases and get into that mindset that I don't have time to reread my favorites. I need to be reading all the new books that I have with the ones that are unread on my shelf. But sometimes it's just nice to go back and reread your favorites, and yeah, I just love it. Thank you guys for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, comment down below if you haven't already, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!